Chapter 2 Start of the Disaster. Cell phone in my pocket vibrated. Safety alert. Various sinkholes have occurred nationally. The sinkhole event wasn't isolated to South Korea. Thousands of holes appeared simultaneously across the globe. Emergency news. Global appearance of mysterious sinkholes. Estimate of sinkhole fatalities unknown. Disaster that accompanied the super blue blood moon. The sinkhole that appeared with the red sky? Is it an effect of the super blue blood moon? I looked at the articles popping up online, but it wasn't an effect of the blood moon. Rather, it was merely the chosen starting time. Handpicked by none other than Ammon, the god of destruction. He should be appearing soon, that bitch-ass ghost. Right on cue, a black form appeared in the crimson sky, a specter tasked with being a guide. Can you hear me? Nice to meet you, Earthlings. I am Luster, a faithful, close aide of Ammon, the god of destruction. Acolyte, my ass, you're just a flying sack. Being a mere guide, he wasn't even important enough to be called a henchman, let alone an aide. Taking him down was easy if I had even an ounce of mana. I was also intimidated when I first saw him. How could someone not fear a flying ghost akin to a reaper? Not to mention how clear his voice was from a distance. Even an idiot would realize this isn't just for show. One of them appeared simultaneously at every sinkhole to explain the situation. I'm sure you're all curious as to why sinkholes appeared across Earth. The sinkholes are a pathway into the labyrinth. No matter which one you enter, they all lead into the labyrinth. The labyrinth went from floor 1 down to floor 666. By reaching the lowest floor, you could meet Ammon, the god of destruction. You all need to enter the sinkhole and clear the labyrinth. Starting from the first floor all the way to the 666th floor. You have to save Great Lord Ammon from boredom. Save him from boredom? That's the petty reason for causing this mess? It angers me now, but I didn't think much of it the first time around. Back then, I didn't really care about the world. In fact, I used to think that maybe the world was better off doomed. I didn't have any will to keep living. In the past, I suffered from serious depression, but I was able to overcome it as I cleared the labyrinth. Clear each floor of the labyrinth. If even one person is successful in clearing a floor, the next floor opens up. The specter then waved his scythe and a message popped up in front of my eyes. Time left until annihilation. 30 days, 0 hours, 0 minutes, 0 seconds. You see the time in front of you, right? That's a countdown marking the end of Earth. If you can't clear the first floor within 30 days, the sinkholes across the world will pierce through the Earth's core, annihilating the planet. Annihilation? That didn't scare me. Why would I be afraid when I'd already experienced it once? I can hear you guys shaking in fear from all the way up here. Don't worry. Every time you clear a floor, you'll have 10 days added to the timer. You can buy yourselves extra time by working hard. Time meant nothing. They all died before they could even reach the final floor. Everyone except for me. Killing Ammon is the only way to save humanity. For that, I needed power. Absolute power. Fear not. It'd be unfair to cause something like this without a way out. We'll be giving you the power to transcend human limits. Why is he acting like he's the one who will give us the power? There are godlike beings called transcendent spirits. They will soon begin contacting you in search of acolytes. He said godlike because they weren't gods. In other words, they were small fry. Once you are selected by a transcendent spirit, you will obtain the power to transcend humanity and be able to manipulate mana and use skills. Obviously, it'll make clearing the labyrinth easier. Only one question ran through everyone's mind. How can I be selected by a transcendent spirit? They wanted to know what they had to do to be chosen and receive powers. The answer was surprisingly anticlimactic. You simply have to be an eye-catching human. In other words, you had to be lucky. It was oddly simple. Looking strong, having a good personality, or just being to their liking, they simply messaged humans that interested them and gave them the opportunity to be an acolyte. I don't need such a crummy opportunity. Though they may have seemed benevolent, Transcendent spirits were all servants of Amon and were simply helping him play his little game. Of course, I didn't have a positive opinion of them. I wish I could beat them all to death. Well, I think that's enough of an explanation. I bid you all farewell. I hope you can each be selected by a transcendent spirit and entertain Lord Amon. Right as the specter disappeared. Time left until annihilation. 29 days, 23 hours, 59 minutes, 59 seconds. Time started ticking down. You may now enter the labyrinth. The red sky returned to normal, but the internet erupted into a frenzy. The truth behind the simultaneous sinkholes. What are the messages that popped up? The labyrinth must be cleared to save Earth. 30-day time limit. A task given to all of humanity. Not a dream. Testimonies and videos corroborating the same story. Numerous videos appeared on YouTube, proving that it wasn't a dream. Forums and comment sections fell into an uproar. What the hell is this article? Is the end coming? I was asleep. Did this really happen? These reporters are pulling some elaborate joke. Right? Right? It's not April Fool's yet. Why are you doing this? No, it's real. They said we'll all die if we can't clear the labyrinth. I also think it's real. I just saw a message pop up counting down the time. My house was right next to a sinkhole, so I saw it up close. This is real. This country's fucked. It's not just our country. The entire world is fucked. That specter thing? I zoomed in on one of the videos posted online. It looks real-ass scary. I guess we need to quickly clear the labyrinth to stop the end of the world. But how do we get chosen by a transcendent spirit? I don't know. You guys actually believe this crap? You're all pathetic. This is clearly some viral marketing scheme, you dumb fucks. I don't know what they're marketing, but this is on a whole different level. Anyone who directly saw and heard the specters had no choice but to believe it, but many people were asleep at the time, so it took a moment for the news to sink in. They'll soon understand that this isn't some marketing crap. I walked forward to the deep, dark hole before me. One more step and it'd be a disastrous fall. Yet, without fear, I jumped into the depths of the sinkhole. You have entered the first floor of the labyrinth. Type: extermination. Condition: none. Mission: defeat 100 dark slimes. You may not exit until you clear the mission. After falling down through an endless abyss, I found myself in a new environment. The gloomy forest, the dark slime's habitat. In the past, I'd entered quite late, but that time around, I entered right away. I never entered as an ordinary human before. A person did not have to become an acolyte to enter the labyrinth. Anyone could try and clear it, though they'd have little to no skills and items to help them. There's nothing stopping a regular old Joe from trying. After walking a bit, I spotted a dark jelly hopping around. A dark slime. Before facing it, I dug into the ground next to a tree and gripped a fistful of dirt I approached the dark slime with. Having finally spotted me, it quickly turned in my direction. Despite appearances, dark slimes are tricky to fight. They were squishy, so you couldn't punch, stab, or slash them, and once they latched onto you, they sucked out your fluids. Anyone would be caught off guard when facing them for the first time. You had to use skills to defeat such a monster. However, if you know the trick to it, it's the easiest monster to kill. I sprinkled the dirt on the dark slime. Eat up. After swallowing the dirt, the slime quickly hardened. Stomp. Just by stepping on it, I broke it apart. Dark slimes defeated. 1 out of 100. So they're still the same. Dark slimes had the characteristic of solidifying once they swallowed something. You could achieve the same result by shining light on them, but feeding them dirt was far faster. Of course, there's also their favorite food. As long as you knew their weakness, there was no reason an ordinary human couldn't defeat those monsters. There's no better way to grab the attention of those above than by clearing the labyrinth as an ordinary human. Right on cue, I got an offer. The Transcendent Spirit Mastermind Assassin offers you to become their acolyte. Will you become the Mastermind Assassin's acolyte? Why/N? I immediately pressed N. I have no intention of becoming a transcendent spirit's acolyte. What I want is the triad. Before my regression, I also hadn't taken any offers. Not only did I have little knowledge of acolytes back then, but I also had no will to live. I'd believed that the end of the world might not have been such a bad thing. In such a state of mind, why would I care about becoming an acolyte? Rather than going through the pain of protecting the world, I thought it'd be easier to be a bystander. I'd also hesitated because of fear. I didn't know what would happen if I became an acolyte, and so I declined every message. I was afraid of it all. Knowing how the system worked, I no longer felt fear, but at the start, I was a real timid and cowardly bitch. Who would have thought being such a coward would pay off? After countless refusals, I was given an offer by the triad, interested in me because I had turned down so many transcendent spirits. They were on the lookout for acolytes of their own, so they could build a force against Amon. Once again, I had to become stronger by receiving an offer from the triad. I don't have time to wait for it after refusing these guys. I was certain I could catch the eyes of the triad by clearing the labyrinth more spectacularly than anyone else. That's why I entered right away. What better to be noticed than to clear that hellhole as an ordinary human? Time to start clearing as fast as humanly possible.